feeling positive about what I'm trying to accomplish here and what I'm doing. So many comments on the YouTube for the last couple of videos, comments of support, and I mean it. Everybody always says, you know, how much it means to them, like YouTubers say how much it means to them, but it's so true. I can't thank you enough for your comments of support. It really means a lot. You know, you can be inside your own head when you're by yourself, and you can, you know, I'm a pretty positive guy, but you can't help but thinking about negative things from time to time. So reading these comments of encouragement have gone a long way. So thank you very much. Still though, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Please be sure to check us out. Check out the Patreon community. I really still want to, we reached our 10 subscribers for the month of March. So that's awesome. My cousin Jim bailed me out. He's like, dude, I'll be your 10th. So thanks, Jim. I appreciate that. And so now let's go for another 10. If I can get to 20 paid Patreon members by the end of April, let's say, so 10 a month, I think that's doable. That would go a long ways towards sustaining the content. You know, right now with subscriptions to Adobe and I still haven't fixed the drone and things like that. There's costs that come with just simply producing content, let alone living. Everybody has to live. So getting to 10 Patreon members by the end of April, I think would be a great goal to try to achieve. And that link, until I'm so close to being monetized on the channel, but until then I can't link in the video description. So you'd have to go to the channel description to see that. So anyways, that's enough rambling for now. Today is finishing up the binnacle for the compass, and that should take up most of the day, to be honest. Oh, I'm dealing with this too today. I went into the marina office the other day and I was like, gosh, where can I go to get a haircut in Point Roberts? And my friend Kendra, who works there, she's like, I'll do it. So tonight, after she's done work, I'm going to wander down there and she's going to give me a haircut. She seems pretty eager to do it, so that'll be fun. If nothing else, I trust her. She's pretty diligent about things, so this will be fun. I'll show you how it turns out. So anyways, that's my fun day for today. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to subscribe. Oh, so beautiful morning here in the marina this morning. Gosh, dead calm. Figured I'd give you a little update on what's happening with the boat. So this water pump is holding me up. So what I ended up doing was just ordering a new one. I did that on Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday, I want to say now. So it's going to take like up to a week for me to get that water pump to come in. It wasn't cheap, but just looking for something used wasn't working. These motors are old and those parts are hard to come by now. That didn't work. So new water pump coming in. When it gets here, then I get back to learning about the boat, learning about sailing. I've got friends lined up that want to come and help, so that's a good thing. The fallout of SAS leaving the boat is better. It's okay. I'm feeling better about it now. It took a couple days for things to settle down and for me to realize that it was okay. I'm okay. I'm doing fine. There's always a positive to any given situation, I find. So I always try to find those little positives that come out of it, and I have. So it's all good. Where I'm at with the boat, with actually learning how to sail, if I tightened up the rigging, the standing rigging yesterday, in order for me to actually sail, I can just go out and sail as soon as I get power to be able to back out of the slip and then out of the marina. So like I say, when that water pump happens, that's when I can be out on the water. But as far as like actual cruising goes, I still need nav gear. So I think what I've decided to do is just go with the basics for this year. I'm going to get, well, I've already downloaded Navionics. Actually, there's another app called Savvy Navi that I quite like. And so I'm going to use one of those apps on my phone for now. And then, of course, the compass has to be installed. And then I'm going to just pick up a used depth finder. That seems to be the consensus with people writing to me, telling me what I need for basics. I need, some GPS-based chart plotter and a depth finder, and a compass. And that gets me started. I have paper charts of the area that I'll be sailing in all this summer. I have charts downloaded on Navionics, and I'm just going to start playing around with that sort of stuff and figuring it out. So I'm going to miss my deadline of sailing by April 1st, which bugs me, but that's okay. That means that I have basically 2 months to be here in Point Roberts area, learning how to sail. So just out in front in Boundary Bay, maybe I'll do some trips to Blaine and back and things like that. There's places that I can go here in the immediate area that are relatively safe. I'll keep an eye out for weather and just keep myself safe. Go with buddies as often as I can. I still just have to get out and do it though too on my own. There's just no way around that. So so as soon as I get the motor back up operational and to a level that I think is reliable, then I can start practicing my sailing.
Oh man, another beautiful day. It's starting to be spring now. So here, let me show you what I'm working on. Remember I told you that I needed a new compass, or I needed a compass. The one that was here in the binnacle was just destroyed. So I found this. This was out of a boat that had sunk, was at the bottom of the marina for like a month. And so I got permission from the owner to salvage what I could out of it. And I found this Danforth Constellation compass in it. And so he was like, yeah, it's yours. So that's pretty sweet. Further to that, when I took, I stripped the wires and then hooked them up to the battery, and the light works on the compass. So now all I got to do though is make it fit into this. This is the original housing, and you can see that it is a little too short, but it is also more important than that. It's just the compass circumference itself is just simply too big. So I have to, I don't know what I got to do. I have an idea. It's what I've been sort of thinking about for a couple of days now. Yeah, man. I just got to make it happen. Luckily, there's a hardware store here in town. It has the basic things that you need. So right now I've cut that housing apart and half of it sort of crumbled. So I need to go get some epoxy and try to firm it up. And yeah, you'll see what I do. But anyways, off to the hardware store. Point Roberts is just this quaint little place. I believe it's like 4 or 5 square miles of American soil on the Canadian mainland. And there's no ferry service to mainland Washington. It's just sort of on its own. There's like 1,200 people, I believe. It's got a grocery store and like I said, a hardware store, which is right there. Library, fire department, lots of gas stations, because all the Canadians come down here to buy gas. Lots of postal delivery services. and lots of real estate offices. So that's Point Roberts.
So this afternoon, I'm just trying to rebuild this binnacle. Binnacle is a shroud that goes around the compass at the helm. And I don't know, so I just cut it off. And then, of course, doing so, the plastic is ancient, so it sort of crumbled. But now I've got this hole much too big. So I think the plan is to set a piece of wood inside of that. I don't know, it's going to be hard to explain.
Okay, so we're getting there. Just building up this binnacle to try to get this Danforth constellation to fit. So I've just cut out some discs here. This one fits right inside the binnacle. And I will epoxy it to the sides here. Bad timing. And then this one goes on top, and I'll epoxy it to there. And then, like you saw, the compass slides down in there. And then I just have to fill that gap. So now I just have to fill this gap, and I'll do that with the hardwood, the ash, the live edge, somehow. I'll make it look nice.
Anyways, while I'm waiting for the epoxy to dry, maybe just give you an update on a few other things. I still haven't sourced a water pump. I'm just waiting for an email back from the sailboat record guy, but I'm not hopeful that that will help. I just am sort of delaying buying a new one because I know that the minute I pull the trigger on buying a new one, he's going to email me back, hey, I got a pump for you. And then I'm going to be like, great. But on the other hand, I have to get going. So, you know, am I going to miss that $300 or $400 that I spent on extra on a pump down the road? No. But I might miss the 3 or 4 days of sailing. That might become crucial later on this summer. So anyway, sometimes I get myself in a hurry that just isn't necessary, but I'm sure a lot of you can understand that. Things are better. SAS has been gone 3 days now. And yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It gives me the opportunity now here on the boat to just, you know, I wake up in the morning and I go, well, what do I want to work on today? And that's what I do. I don't have to worry about inconveniencing somebody else. I don't have to worry about making too much noise or making too many smells or dust or whatever. I can just do what I need to do to get this boat back operational. The other thing I promised you I would do is tell some more stories, some more background. It occurs to me that some of you probably jump into this video series, you know, not knowing my story. I was born and raised on the prairies of Alberta, farming, grain farming, and went away from that for a while. My dad asked me if I wanted to take over the farm, and I said no. I was in my early 20s, late teens, I want to say. You know, went and worked in commercial real estate and big office tower downtown Edmonton. You know, trips to Toronto on a regular basis, wearing expensive suits and driving fancy cars. And yeah, I need to back up. In my 20s, before I decided to work commercial real estate, I wanted to be an outfitter, a guide. I was really crazy about hunting and fishing. So I picked up the Yellow Pages and phoned around until somebody answered me back, and I started outfitting or guiding. And then from there, I started my own outfitting business, and that lasted over a decade doing that. Then I went into commercial real estate, working downtown, and then I got married, and then, I don't know, just wanted to get back to the farming side of things. So while I was working a full-time job and raising the kids with my wife, I started dabbling around in farming and trying to figure out a way to start that business. And I did. It's kind of funny. Today I signed the papers to dissolve the company that I started 17 years ago. And it was a little hard. God, it's been just kind of a brutal last few days. Holy cow, last few months. I guess in a good way moving forward, but still, when I think about it, it's like, holy crap. So I dissolved this company that I started, the farm, which was, everybody told me it was impossible. Like, to start a farm from scratch without borrowing a bunch of money. I just did it. I scratched and I clawed and I bought old crappy farm equipment and I learned how to fix it up, and I rented land and I grew the grains, and then I started selling them to a bakery in 20 or in 40-pound bags. And then that evolved to, hey, I should get a flour mill. And it started with a little tabletop flour mill and then got bigger and bigger. Today, what's happening on the farm is a huge commercial flour mill. And just selling flours direct to consumer from heirloom and ancient grains that are certified organic. And yeah, did that. That was paying all of the bills on the farm. It was paying the mortgage and all of the bills, paying us a small salary. So neither of us worked off farm. It was a good deal. It was a good deal. Just being in a marriage that wasn't working for either of us, just completely loveless. For years, I had sort of been alone on the farm and or in my marriage. So on paper, it looks like I just jumped into it with Sass, but that's not the case. I'd been lonely for a long time and decided to end the marriage, and then just happened to meet Sass not long after that through happenstance. And happenstance. And so, that was good. It was a lot of fun to be in a loving relationship there for a while, and just to have things end the way they did. I don't know. From my standpoint, I guess, anyways, it was rough. But again, find myself here, starting over. I've decided that against everybody's advice, almost everybody's advice. I have one friend who is applauding what I'm doing, maybe two, but everybody else was telling me, that's half yours, and you worked hard for that, and true, but I don't know, it just didn't feel right. I'm trying to exit out of that life without destroying the people that are in that life still, that want to remain in that life. So trying to do the right thing. And what that means is that this is a real struggle. And I don't know, I guess it's self-imposed, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to do the easy way, which is just force the sale of the farm and the property and make it all split down the middle and get my money and live life easily for the rest of my life. So what feels better, I guess, for me, which is going to sound stupid, is the situation that I find myself in now, which is, I don't know how much to tell you about that, but I'm just stuck here in the States with this boat that can't move right now, without any income, that is causing all sorts of problems. There's a small income, so I don't want to lie. There's a small income, a couple $100 a week Canadian that's coming from the farm business. So I'm grateful for that. But, everything else is a real struggle to figure out. So if I can get this boat back together and get it sailing, learn how to sail it, survive the next 2 months, and get it into Canada, well, then I can start that dive business, cleaning boats, boat bottoms, and, changing zincs and things like that. And I'm just going to be like the littlest hobo. The Canadians will get that reference. You Americans are going, what? Maybe some of you know what the littlest hobo is. But anyways, so I'm just going to be going around, I guess, from place to place, exploring and sailing and learning and trying to make money here and there. And I don't know, I have no idea what's going to happen. I could wind up in a place where there's some really amazing job that I fall into that I like, and I end up sticking around there. But I mean,
then that comes at the risk of the channel. Like, I don't want to work full time. I want to work full time at my job, at my business, which is this channel and some of the products that might surround that brand. So, you know, I'm not oblivious to the reality. Of course, you know, get a job. If I have to, I get a job. But, you know, the struggle is real. Like, I want to make this little business work and this channel work. And I want to be free to be able to go and explore and sail and create content and make it entertaining enough for people to want to watch. So yeah, being alone now means that I can record whenever I want. I can just record right now, and I'm not interrupting anybody. And you know, so it's going to create these little opportunities for me here, I guess. So I'm glad. I hope you stick around and find out what I get into. But now you know a little bit about my background and starting things. And so I don't look at this any differently. Right now, I'm probably at the lowest point that I've ever been in my life, professionally, relationship-wise. And I don't know, just because it's the lowest doesn't mean that's as low as it can go. I'm aware of that, acutely aware of that. But I'm also aware of however low it gets, however much money I'm left with or I run out of, that there's only one way to go from there, right? So, and that's what gives me hope and keeps me moving on. It will get better. That I know. I just got to keep working. I got to keep being a good person that does the right thing and make good decisions in that respect. And then, I don't know, it'll work out somehow. I'm not going to starve. I have survival skills. I have, you know, friends that would help. I have, you know, I am fortunate in that respect that, you know, I don't think I'm going to die. But I don't know. It's going to take a lot of effort on my part here over the next several months to keep this thing afloat, literally.